What's going on, everybody? In today's video, we are going over utilities in the greater Sacramento area, and we're talking about PG&E versus SMUD. So let's go. I want you guys to check out this scenario. So check it out. Picture two California families. They live just miles apart, have similar homes, and lead similar lives. But one of them is paying double for their electricity. This isn't a mistake, it's by design. As of January 2026, a family living in PG&E territory can expect a monthly electricity bill of around $311. But a family just across the county line in SMUD territory gets a bill for about $149 for the exact same amount of energy. That's less than half, a staggering difference of over $1,900 per year. So what the heck is going on here? We're going to break down why one family gets hit with these outrageous bills from PG&E while the other enjoys a bill that's 50% cheaper from SMUD. We'll look at the massive rate differences, expose some surprising truths about going solar, and figure out which utility really serves its customers best in 2026. This is a story that reveals a lot about California's broken energy system. You guys, I'm Joubert Caston. I'm a local real estate advisor in the area, but most importantly, I am a very proud girl dad. In today's video, we're going over utilities. When relocating to the greater Sacramento area, you have a decision to make. You're either going to be in SMUD territory or you're going to be in PG&E territory. Or if you're looking into moving to Roseville, they have their own electricity company that compares with SMUD. But in today's video, we're going all about PG&E versus SMUD. So let's go. California's electricity story is a tale of two realities. For millions, it's a story of pure financial frustration, of watching bills climb relentlessly year after year. It's that feeling of dread when you open an envelope from PG&E and you just go, damn. Their customers have seen bills skyrocket, with some years bringing increases of hundreds of dollars. And trust me, I know. When living up here, you start to really understand PG&E for sure, especially because we use AC when it comes to the hotter parts of the time in the summertime. But for over 1.5 million people in and around Sacramento, that story is completely different. They get their power from SMUD, the Sacramento Municipal Utility District. And as we saw, their bills are consistently dramatically lower. As of early 2026, SMUD's rates are on average more than 50% lower than PG&E. This isn't some temporary sale or a special discount. It's a permanent structural gap that defines the cost of living in Northern California. You can literally find streets where neighbors on one side pay one price and neighbors on the other pay double. Same sun, same power lines, completely different worlds. How in the heck did we get here? What makes these two companies operating side by side so fundamentally different? The answer isn't just in the numbers, but in the very DNA of each company. So, PG&E. The biggest difference between PG&E and SMUD boils down to this. One is a business and the other is a public service. PG&E is an investor-owned utility, or IOU. That means it's for-profit corporation that has to answer to its shareholders. Its primary legal duty is to make money for the people who own its stock. When PG&E builds a power plant or trims trees, it isn't just to keep the lights on. It's making an investment and enacts state regulators for permission to earn a profit on that investment. Profit that comes directly from your bill. In late 2025, the California Public Utilities Commission, or CPUC, authorized ROE's return on equity for major California utilities, with PG&E's landing just under 10%. That's money earmarked for shareholders. This profit motive drives every single decision they make. Where SMUD, on the other hand, is a community-owned, not-for-profit utility. It's governed by a publicly elected board of directors, not Wall Street investors. These are no shareholders to pay. Any money left over after covering operating costs gets reinvested directly back into the system. That can mean improving infrastructure, developing clean energy, or most importantly, keeping rates low for its customers. This totally different structure creates a massive ripple effect. When both utilities face rising costs for things like wildfire prevention or grid upgrades, their responses are worlds apart. PG&E often has to pass those costs plus its profit margin straight to you. SMUD, meanwhile, works to absorb those costs and manage its budget to soften the blow on its customer owners. It's a system designed for community benefit, not shareholder profit. And that's the single biggest reason for the shocking price gap we see today. Let's put this into concrete numbers for 2026. If you're an average home using 750 kilowatt hours of electricity a month, your PG&E bill is projected to be around $311. That same 750 kilowatt hours with SMUD will cost you around $149. The difference is even clearer when you look at the price per kilowatt. PG&E's average residential rate as of January 1st, 2026 is about 41.5 cents per kilowatt hour. In contrast, SMUD's average rate is projected to be around 17.5 cents per kilowatt hour, even after a small rate hike. This gives SMUD customers a huge advantage in the ability to save money by shifting when they use energy. Now, to be fair, SMUD isn't immune to rising costs. The utility approved modest 3% rate increases for both 2026 and 2027. For the average customer, this adds about $4.35 more per month in 2026 and another $4.48 in 2027. These increases are needed for wildfire mitigation, grid reliability, and new power generation. But here's the key context. Even with these increases, SMUD has publicly stated that its rates will remain roughly 50% lower than PG&E's. SMUD has also committed to keeping future rate increases within the rate of inflation through 2030. Meanwhile, PG&E has rolled out a new bill structure for 2026, adding a fixed monthly charge of about $24 for most customers, which you'll have to pay no matter how much energy you use. While this comes with a slight decrease in per kilowatt hour rate, it creates a new unavoidable cost, especially for people trying to conserve. The bottom line is clear. The financial advantage of being a SMUD customer isn't just large, it's stable and predictable. With electricity bills being so high, it's no wonder hundreds of thousands of Californians have gone solar. But the story of solar savings is also a tale of two utilities with a very unexpected twist. Since April of 2023, new solar customers for both PG&E and SMUD have been under a policy called Net Energy Metering 3.0, or NEM 3.0. This policy dramatically changed the math for solar. The credit you get for sending extra solar back to the grid was slashed by about 75%. You're no longer credited at the high retail rate you pay. Instead, you get a much lower wholesale rate that changes constantly. This makes using the power you generate yourself or storing it in a battery absolutely critical. And here's where it gets counterintuitive. Because PG&E's electricity rates are so incredibly high, every kilowatt hour of solar you use at home saves you tons of money. This means that even with the terrible export rates of NEM 3.0, the paycheck period for a solar system in PG&E's territory can be surprisingly quick, with some estimates putting it between 5 to 9 years, especially if you add a battery. For SMUD customers, the math is different because their electricity is already so cheap. The value of each kilowatt hour you use you're still saving money, but you're saving less per kilowatt than a PG&E customer. This could extend the payback period for a solar investment in SMUD territory. But the story doesn't end there. Both utilities offer incentives. Both are part of California's Self-Generation Incentive Program, or SGIP, which offers rebates for installing a home battery. These rebates can cover 15 to 20%, 25% of the cost for most people, with special equity tiers for low-income households or those in high fire threat areas that can be even more generous. However, PG&E customers have access to another powerful incentive called the Disadvantaged Communities. Single-family affordable solar housing programs, or DAC SASH, SASH, for qualifying low-income households in certain areas. This program can provide an upfront incentive that covers most of the costs of solar installation, and it's set to run through 2030. So what's the verdict? For PG&E customers, the intense financial pain of high rates makes going solar, especially with a battery, a powerful shield with a faster financial payback. For SMUD customers, solar is still a great long-term investment for energy independence, but the financial urgency is lower because their bills are already so much more affordable. You guys, this is a complicated issue, and the reality of your bill depends entirely on where you live. We want to hear from you. What was your experience been like? Are you a PG&E customer or are you a SMUD customer? Share your story with me down below. Tell us about your monthly bill. Me personally, I have both lived in both PG&E and El Dorado Hills and SMUD and Folsom, and I will tell you that I have seen a drastic change in my bill when it comes to Folsom. Now, with that being said, I also like how SMUD is for the customers. I had a listing over in Walnut Grove, and we needed trees planted on the property. Well, SMUD has a program that will send and deliver trees straight to your house. Okay, this is a major issue when it comes to thinking about where you're going to move in the greater Sacramento. If I could be of any help, please reach out anytime. I am here for you. Stay tuned for more of my videos. If this was anywhat helpful for you, definitely like, subscribe, share my channel. I'm going to be bringing you guys more heat and more value. Hope you guys are well. Stay blessed. Take care of yourself.